Very good evening to one and all. Myself, Praveen Shenoy, sir. I teach geography and I will take you through the paper discussion of the geography section, geography and economics section of social studies paper. Now, before going on towards the discussion of paper, let's try to understand in how many sections and each section had how many questions. So basically the entire paper is made up of 4 sections, section A, B, C and D, wherein section A has 24 questions, out of which you need to attempt any 20. Section B has 22 questions, out of which you need to attempt any 18 questions. Section C, which is case study source-based questions, has 12 questions, out of which you need to attempt any 10. And section D is map-based questions, 2 questions, and both of them are compulsory. So in all, out of 60 questions given in the paper, you need to attempt any 50. 0.8 mark का एक MCQ है, so likewise 50 multiplied 0.8 is 40. There is no negative marking in the paper. Now students, we understood the sections of the paper, we understood the number of questions in each paper. Let's try to understand how exactly these questions are divided within the section. So basically, when I talk about section A, okay, section A consists of 24 questions. Okay, now out of this 24 questions, I can say we can divide 24 in 2 parts. 12 questions will be history and pol science, and 12 questions will be geography and economics. Now basically when I say 12 questions of history, pol science and 12 questions of geography and economics, अभी एक हिस्ट्री एंड पॉल साइंस में जो 12 क्वेश्चंस है, ओके, द 12 क्वेश्चंस ऑफ हिस्ट्री पॉल साइंस, इसके लिए यू हैव 3 चैप्टर्स. द 3 चैप्टर्स आर नंबर 1 यूरोप, नंबर 2 पावर शेयरिंग, नंबर 3 फेडरलिज्म. So 12 questions divided by the 3 chapters of history pol science will give you 4 questions from each of history pol science in section A. I hope that's very clear. तो 24 questions में से हिस्ट्री एंड पॉलिटिकल साइंस के हर एक चैप्टर में से आपको 4-4 क्वेश्चन पूछा गया है. सिमिलरली ज्योग्राफी एंड इकोनॉमिक्स में you have 12 questions in all, but chapters are 4. How 4 chapters? The very first chapter is resource and development, geography. Second chapter is agriculture, geography. Development of economics, sectors of the Indian economy, economics. So 12 questions divided by 4 chapters will give you 3 questions from each of geography and economics chapter in section A. So I hope section A ka bifurcation is very clear. When I go towards section B, okay, now section B had in all 22 questions. Okay, 22 questions I can say will be divided as 11 of history pol science plus 11 of geography and economics. Now when I talk about 11 questions of history and pol science, how exactly it has been divided? You have 3 chapters as I mentioned you earlier. So 11 को divide किया है 5 and 6 में, okay, 5 and 6, or rather it is 3 plus 8. 3 will be history plus 4 from power sharing plus 4 from federalism. This is how it has been divided in section B. Okay, similarly 11 questions of geography and economics, this has been divided as, अब 11 questions है, chapter है 4, so it has been divided as 5 for geography and 6 for economics. So since 5 chapters are geography, 2 questions in the paper are from resource and development, plus 3 questions are from agriculture, plus 3 questions are from development chapter, plus 3 questions are from sectors of Indian economy chapter. So I want you to understand the division of the entire paper properly. When it comes to section C, case study, in section C, case study, okay, you have been given 4 questions of history plus 4 questions of pol science plus 4 questions of economics. That's how the case studies are divided. And last May, when I talk about section D, in section D, you have 2 map-based questions, and obviously map-based questions are from geography. So this is the basic structure of your paper, which you attempted yesterday. So now let's quickly start discussing the answers of the paper. Now, when we discuss the answers of the paper, I will discuss the geography and economics part of the paper. So when I discuss the geography and economics part of the paper, the geography question was the 5th question, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th question. The 5th question was individual, community, national, and international resources are classified on the basis of dash. The answer is option C, ownership. Which of the following soil is more common in the Piedemonte plains? Piedemonte plains as in the foothills, such as the Dwars, Chors, and Tarai. The answer is option C, alluvial soil. The land becomes unfit for cultivation is known as dash. The land becoming unfit, कुछ काम का नहीं है जमीन. Such zamins are called as behards. Behard Hindi term है. English में behards are called as bad land. So I hope 5th, 6th, and 7th question is very clear. Going on towards the 8th, 9th, and 10th question. The 8th question over here was rice requires high humidity with dash as an annual rainfall. The answer is above 100 centimeter. Rice requires lots of water, above 100 centimeter of rainfall. Which amongst the following is a golden fiber? आँख बंद करके बोल सकते हैं. The answer is A, jute. For irrigation, most of the farmers depend on dash. Irrigation करना है, पानी artificially supply करना है, तो we need to depend upon monsoon. क्योंकि अगर बारिश नहीं गिरेगा तो रिवर्स में पानी कहां से आएगा? अगर रिवर्स में पानी नहीं आएगा तो इरिगेशन कैसे कर सकते हैं? So the direct source of water for irrigation is monsoon. Option number C. Going further towards the next question, geography is done over here in section A. Going on towards the next question, that is the economic section of the paper, and the economic section of the paper was question number 19 onwards. So question number 19 over here is which criterion is used to measure the countries for development according to World Development Report? And the answer is option C, per capita income. Which one of the following is not a feature of developing country? Developing country का feature नहीं है. अगर आप बराबर देखोगे तो agriculture as a major occupation, disguised unemployment, mass poverty, ये सब developing countries के feature है, except high technological development. Because high technological development you will find in the developed countries. So hence high technological development is not a feature of developing countries. Going further, 21st question, the total number of children of age group 14 and 15 years attending the school as a percentage of total number of children actually present in the same age group. This particular definition is the definition for net attendance ratio. The activities in the primary, secondary, and tertiary sector of the economy are dash with each other. आँख बंद करके again we can answer. It is option C. They are interdependent on each other. Going further, 23rd question. The 23rd question over here is which of the following is a private sector industry? BHEL, that is Bharat Heavy Electricals Limited. TISCO, Tata Iron and Steel Company. Tata का नाम आ गया, and we all know Tata is a private sector industry. So the answer is option B, TISCO. We need not go further, we know it. It is TISCO. The features of unorganized sector. Unorganized, ये sector unorganized है, तो obviously unorganized sector में paid leave नहीं मिलता, maternity leave नहीं मिलता, gratuity नहीं मिलता, benefits नहीं मिलता, employment की guarantee नहीं मिलती. तो ये सब feature कहाँ mention किया है? It has mentioned in option C, unpaid holidays and no secure employment. So I hope section A का geography and economics section is very clear. Moving ahead towards section B, and section B में our geography starts with question number 28. Which type of erosion is depicted in the picture given below? If you look at the picture properly, you have a land and this particular part has been eroded. The answer is option C, gully erosion. Okay, going further, 29th question. Identify the soil having below characteristic, has a high water holding capacity, found in parts of Maharashtra, Malwa Plateau region, Madhya Pradesh. The soil is poor in phosphoric content. कुछ याद है ये किसके फीचर्स है? Alluvial soil तो सर्वगुण संपन्न है, उसके अंदर सब फीचर्स है, अच्छे फीचर्स है. तो alluvial soil तो नहीं होगा. Red and yellow soil भी नहीं है ये, because red and yellow soil is not found in Malwa Plateau and Madhya Pradesh. Forest soil is not found in Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra. The answer is the following features are features of black soil, and since black soil is not mentioned over here, the option is none of the above. Going further, identify the crop shown here. यहाँ पर कौन सा crop दिखाया गया है? The answer is option C, sugarcane. Again, a very simple question. Dash is the scheme introduced by the government of India for the benefits of farmer. KCC, ICAR, Bhudan, none of this. The answer is option D, none of this. Going further towards the 32nd question. The 32nd question is globalization. Just a minute. Okay. The 32nd question is globalization is not a new phenomena. It was there at the time of colonization. The answer is option A. Globalization is not a new phenomena. That's true. It was there at the time of colonization. Even that is true. So both A and R are true. And R is the correct explanation of A. So hence, the correct answer over here is option number A. Okay. So going on towards section B ka economic section. Section B ka economic section. Let's see. Section B ka economic section starts from question number 41. Consider the following statement about exhaustion of natural resources. Statement 1. Crude oil resources would last only 50 years more. Second statement. Oil extraction is undertaken by Middle East regions at a very fast pace. Statement 3. Non-conventional fuel sources should be encouraged that reduces use of crude oil. हमको बोला है, which of the following statement gives an idea about sustainable development? Development in the present, keeping in mind the needs of future, is sustainable. तो इसके बारे में ये तीनों स्टेटमेंट में से कौन सा स्टेटमेंट बात करता है? थर्ड स्टेटमेंट बात करता है, सिर्फ थर्ड स्टेटमेंट. So the correct answer over here is only 3, option number D. Going further, you have been given assertion and reason. The assertion over here is a high average income is not indicative of the overall well-being of a country. Reason, average income does not cover human development indicators like level of education, health and public facilities. Let's analyze. Assertion बोलता है high average income is not indicator of well-being, overall well-being of a country. बराबर है. Average income सिर्फ पैसा कितना है वो बोलता है. Overall well-being, health factor, literacy factor ये सब consider नहीं करता. बराबर है. True, correct. रीजन बोलता है average income does not cover human development indicators like level of education, health and public facilities. अरे बराबर है, तो assertion is correct, reason is correct. In fact, reason is the correct explanation of assertion. So what's the answer? The answer is option A. Both assertion and reason is correct, and reason is the correct explanation of assertion. Small children in a remote village have to travel 5 kilometers every day to attend their school, as there is no school in their area. They have to go out at 6 a.m. In winters, it becomes even more difficult as there are no street lights. What can be said about this situation? What can be said? There are no public facilities in this village. So the answer is option D. There is lack of public facilities in the village. Going further over here, 44th question. A flower cultivator grows tulips, reaps a good crops and sells it to a trader. The trader exports the tulips and earns huge profit. This increases the GDP, but a farmer is still not able to earn well. Why? A. Most of the profit is taken by trader. B. Farmer is underemployed or disguised employed. C. Farmers, traders, exporters work in unorganized section. D. All of the above. Answer is? Any guesses? Yes, it is option D. All of the above. Going further towards the 45th question. The 45th question says, assertion, the government of India buys wheat and rice from farmers at fair prices. Agree. Correct. Reason, public sector contributes to the economic development. 100% sahi. Correct. But you tell me, government of India buying wheat and rice at fair price and public sector contributing to economic development. How are they interrelated? So in fact, assertion and reason दोनों आपस में सही है. लेकिन you can't say reason is the explanation of A. So what will be the answer this time? This time the answer will be option B. Both assertion and reason are correct, but reason is not the correct explanation of assertion. Going ahead towards the 46th question, which is, which scheme is implemented by the government of India in 625 districts of India under right to work? It is MG Narega 2005, which is the option number B. Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act. So I hope section B ka geography and economics is very clear with everyone. Going on towards section C, and section C mein we will talk about the case study in relation to geography and economics. Since there was no case study of geography in the paper, we will go towards the third case study, which was the case study based on economics. The value of final goods and services, matlab it is about GDP. The first question was, how is GDP calculated? The GDP is the final value of all goods and services. Abhi point A and point B speaks about intermediate goods. तो सबसे पहले ऑप्शन से आउट हो गया, A and B out, ये तो होगा ही नहीं. It will be between C and D. Now if you observe the D option, D option बोलता है last 3 years में जो final goods and service बने हैं वो गिनने का, last 3 years का नहीं गिनने का. इनफैक्ट गिनते हैं, लेकिन ये साल जो हो रहा है अपने लिए वो इंपॉर्टेंट है. एंड ये साल के बारे में बात कौन कर रहा है? ये साल के बारे में बात कर रहा है पॉइंट नंबर सी. The value of final goods and services produced in each sector during a particular year provides the total production of sector for that year and a sum of production in the 3 sectors. The 3 sectors are primary, secondary and tertiary. So I hope the answer is very clear over here. Going on towards the next question, 56th question. What do final goods and services mean? Does it mean A, production of goods and services? Does it mean option B, those goods and services that finally reach the consumers? Does it mean C, those goods and services that are out of reach of consumers? Option D, none of the above. The answer is option B. Option B, those goods and services that finally reach the consumers. Going ahead, 57th question. In how many sectors does the sum of production give GDP of a country? 3 sectors. Which are the 3 sectors? The 3 sectors are primary, secondary and tertiary. So the answer is option D, 3. Going ahead towards the last case study based question, 58th question of economics. Who is responsible for collecting data for the GDP in India? The answer is obviously the central government ministry, option A. So I hope section C, case study mein se, economics part of the section is very clear. And now going on towards the last section, section D, which is the math based question. Okay, you have been given A and B. Name the irrigation project located at A. If you look over here, A is plotted on the borders of Punjab and Haryana. And the irrigation project on the borders of Punjab and Haryana is Bhakra Nangal project. And the next question over here was, state pointed as B leads in production of this crop. तो जो B में state दिया गया है ना, वो कौन से crop में lead करता है? जवार, बाजरा, रागी की rice. The state is Karnataka, and this state Karnataka leads in C, ragi, and the project A was Bhakra Nangal, option C. So I hope the paper discussion of geography and economics was very clear with everyone, and I hope you have noted down all the points which I discussed right now. Thank you very much. All the best. Do subscribe to the channel for more such interesting videos, everyone. Thank you very much, everyone. Bye bye and take care.